Hi, I'm Dr. Vonda Wright, and this is Hot for Your Health. You were born with limitless potential. The question is, are you reaching it? In this episode of Hot for Your Health, Jen Groover teaches you how to unlock your limitless potential. It takes courage. It takes believing in yourself. It takes steps every single day down a pathway to success. You are not going to want to miss what she has to say.
Every time I see people come into a room like this, I know that you're investing in yourself, and I applaud you for doing so. And you're investing your time wisely today, because I believe that everyone will get a lot out of this event from many incredible speakers. But my intention, recognizing that you're all investing in yourself, is to give you 1,000% of myself and make sure you leave this room feeling empowered and feeling like you learned so much that your life did transform in this very moment. Now, I am now commissioned with the task of taking what would be content from my 90-minute PBS special and narrowing it down into 40 minutes, so I talk really fast. So is everyone up to speed and ready to go? Okay. I want to give you as much as I can give you, and I want it to really impact your life, and I want to save some time at the end so that people can ask questions, because I think that's a really important part of the process. And we're running a little bit behind, so I'm going to get ready to just fire away at you. So this is called Empowered, and my PBS special is called Empowered. And the word empowered is used so often, but I don't think enough people really reflect on what empowered is. What's that word mean, to be empowered? And a lot of people feel like to be empowered means to be strong and powerful, but often have power over other people. And to me, that is not the belief system of what being empowered is. To be empowered, I believe, is to have enough power within yourself to then lift up other people who are not yet capable of lifting themselves up. So Dr. Vonda was talking earlier today about what's your intention, what's your meaning, what's your why. And for me, my why is constantly to empower myself. So the more I'm empowered and fulfilled and strong and courageous, the more I can help other people. And so that becomes an integral part of what I do all day, every day in my empowerment, and why I eat right, or why I do things for myself, like get massages to be rejuvenated so that I can be on top of my game. So to be empowered is to not have power over others, but to have enough power within yourself to lift up others. And it sounds really easy. Okay, now great, I'm just gonna be empowered. But it is not that easy. And the reason is because we have all these self-limiting beliefs that have been programmed in our lives that hold us back, these fears that have been created by other people and by other people's belief systems that hold us back. Pain that we have endured in our life that we have not yet healed that hold us back. So what I would like to teach you is how to become really empowered. And to become really empowered, you have to first understand what empowerment is to you and why it's important to you. So what's your why and what's your truth? And when I say truth, I mean the truth of who you are, why you're here, your purpose, why you do what you do, why you create these intentions for your life to have a better life. And a lot of times people don't reflect on the why. And why they don't is because often it's painful. The why to get you to your purpose, the why of why you're here. And so often people come to me and they say, I feel stuck in my life. I just am so frustrated because I feel stuck. I feel like I'm meant to do something, but I don't know what. I don't know what I want to be. I want to start a business, but I don't know what I want to do. And I always say to people, the reality is you're asking the wrong question. That's why you're feeling stuck. It's not what do you want to do, what your title is, what company you're starting, what your logo looks like. All of that's secondary. The question you need to ask yourself every single day is, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? What do I want my legacy to be in this world? When I die, what are people going to say about the impact that I made in their lives? What is that for me? And it's different for everyone. But I do believe that every single person has a purpose to inspire other people, to help other people, to be empowered, to lift up other people. But what's your purpose is often directly associated to the most painful experience of your life. That's a secret that I learned in my own journey. Nothing that I speak about today or ever is coming from a place of judgment. It comes from a place of my own experience and wisdom that I gained in my experience, and the excitement that wisdom gives me the power to share it with other people to hopefully help other people on their journey and on their path. So purpose is often directly connected to pain. The most painful experience in your life usually. That's where most people don't want to go. That's where most people don't want to think. But when you do, guess what? Something really powerful happens. You heal yourself. You evolve. You transform. You grow. You realize often a lot of those pains and fears weren't even really real. You just gave them meaning to make them real. So I'm going to share something really profound. This thought process hopefully will shift your perspective instantly. Nothing in life has meaning until you give it meaning. Nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. Now think of all those stories you created in your life. And they only had the meaning that you gave it. Holy cow. I want you to reflect on that, on all the stories that you've created. Somebody cheated on you, guess what? That has nothing to do with you. Nothing. Not about you not being good enough or pretty enough or smart enough. That had to do with their own stuff. Their own stuff. If someone stole from you, that has nothing to do with you. You weren't dumb. You weren't gullible. You didn't do anything wrong. You shouldn't take that with you. Maybe you could have made better choices. Maybe you didn't trust your intuition. That's okay. They're all learning things. But it has nothing to do with you. If somebody steals from you, that has everything to do with them. And so these painful experiences, often when we uncover them, don't have any truth to them at all. And then once we realize that we can heal, and then we're free, and we don't fear much at all. Logically speaking, I'm not saying go jump off of a building and hope that your wings hop in. But in reality, most of these things that we hold on that are painful or fears aren't even real. Fear is false evidence, right? Appearing real. So I'm going to share with you my own personal experience so you understand this correlation to purpose and hopefully can uncover your fears and your pains so that you can heal and become the most empowered, blissful, happy person that you could ever be. And I share that to begin with because often when we're going through the process of discovery of ourselves, we can go through some painful rediscoveries. But on the other side of that, I promise you, is bliss. Happiness, living in a state where even when things aren't going right, you can manage them with such a high level of emotional intelligence that it barely does faze you because you have the capacity to have control of your perspective and see wisdom in every obstacle and to see a learning process in all of the frustrations that you have. We have control of one thing only in our lives, our perspective.
The federal health insurance marketplace is now open. That means you're free to shop for the health plan that's right for you. UPMC Health Plan has some of the most affordable plans on the marketplace. And they all give you full in-network access to UPMC, plus other doctors and hospitals in your community. Visit upmchealthplan.com or call 1-855-297-UPMC to learn why so many people have chosen UPMC Health Plan. Enroll today.
That is the only thing you have control of. You can't control anyone else or anything else. Only your perspective. So you have the power in every single moment to choose what your perspective is. To choose how you see the world. To choose every circumstance that has happened to you and give it the meaning that makes you empowered. Nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. So you want to give things powerful meanings? Every time somebody does something wrong to me, I feel compassion and empathy for the other person and I have no attachment to that pain. Man, that is blissful. That took me about 15 years of work to get there. But it's so powerful. When somebody is mean to me, I don't take it personally because that's their stuff. It has nothing to do with me. So that negative energy I would have spent tripping up on that doesn't trip me up at all. Imagine how powerful that is. Imagine how much time and energy you can save in your life when you have control over your perspective. When you can give your perspective good meaning. When we talk about the why, aside of wanting to empower people every single day, I have 10-year-old twin daughters. And I know I am their number one role model for how they can see the world. And everything I do, more than what I say, is what they're going to follow. And if I'm not walking the walk, and I'm saying to my kids, if somebody talks badly about you, it has nothing to do with you, yet I'm getting tripped up and they're hearing me talk to my girlfriends about, so did you hear what so-and-so said, or did you hear what so-and-so said? What do you think they're going to follow? What I'm saying or what I'm doing? What I'm doing. Absolutely. And not only that, but children, for those of you who are parents in this room, children read energy. They read the truth. The truth is in your energy. How many times have you ever said, yeah, I'm doing great, and inside you're dying? You don't think people know that? Even if you smile with the biggest smile, yeah, I'm doing great. But inside your heart's breaking and you're in a bad place. People feel that. How many times have you ever met people, they walk in and they're saying all the right things and they're really nice, and you're like, I just don't know. Like, even they were so nice, I feel disconnected. It feels icky. That's because they were not in a truthful state. The more we're in a truthful state of who we are, the more energetically and magnetically we connect to other people. We become radiant and effervescent, and people want to follow us, and they don't even know why. How many times have you met those people who are like, I want to do whatever they're doing. I don't even know why, but I want a piece of what they're doing. And if you really think about it, you really can't formulate or articulate why it is you want to be a part of what they're doing. You just want their energy. That's what it is. You want their happiness. You want their vibe. You want to be living in the state that they're living in. Energy, it's quantum physics. We are all energy. Your thoughts create your reality. Your vibration, your frequency is more truthful to people than the words coming out of your mouth. Kids read that in 2 seconds. They feel it. So if I'm saying to my daughters, yeah, you could do and be anything you want, yet I'm living only a marginal portion of my potential, my kids would know that. I tell my daughters at school right now, because the drama has just begun. And by the way, I've taught them from day one, we live in the drama-free zone. We live in the drama-free zone. If you have drama, please keep it out of my space. They've heard me say this to my friends and family members. If you need help, I'm there for you. If you need to talk, come with a reason for a solution, not just to complain. We live in the drama-free zone. So guess what happened last year, at the end of the school year, when the drama just was tipping off? Little circumstance went down in the schoolyard. My daughter says, excuse me, I live in the drama-free zone. Please keep the drama out of my space. So guess what? Kids learn, and they learn quickly. And I taught them to create boundaries. And here they are in 5th grade now, where the drama is increasing. And no one's bringing drama into Madison or Morgan's space, because they made it very clear to keep the drama out of their space. And I told them they have the power to begin a trend that's different in their school, a trend that's different in their 5th grade classroom. Especially as twins, they have even more power to connect and create a new belief system around talking bad about people or manipulating people and all those things that have derailed probably each and every one of us at some point in time in our childhood, and unfortunately probably even in adult life. But your belief systems, your perceptions, they're creating your reality. How crazy is that? No one can do anything to you unless you give it a meaning to do something to you. So my journey began as a child where I had a very dysfunctional household. My mom was actually this incredibly strong, brassy, sassy, mouthy Brooklyn, New Yorker. And one of her good family friends and school teacher was Vince Lombardi. Now, for those of you who are into motivational speaking and leadership, everyone would know who Vince Lombardi is. For those who don't, he was one of the most iconic coaches, football coaches of all time. And there are many posters and many Vince Lombardi sayings going around. And my mom had that kind of impression in her young life. And she was one of the first models for 17 magazine and lived in this New York City lifestyle. And she met my father in Philadelphia. And my father at that time was an alcoholic. but a functioning alcoholic, like the fun guy alcoholic. But when he would go behind closed doors, he was an abusive, unkind, emotionally unintelligent alcoholic. So what people were seeing on the outside world and what people were seeing on the inside world were two different things. My mom fell in love with the fun, free-spirited guy who seemed powerful and in control. And when she married him, she saw a very different thing. And my mom found herself in an incredibly physically, emotionally, verbally abusive marriage. Some of my first memories as a small child were very abusive, things that I couldn't even fathom my daughters seeing today. And there were things that shaped my life and my perceptions of the world. At my age, I don't hold them with attachment the way I did as a younger child. But as I got older, I kept thinking to myself, this can't be the way we're supposed to live. This can't be right. And I watched my mom, who then also ran campaigns for politicians and had a TV show and would present herself in this outside world as this powerful, strong, dynamic woman who people would say wouldn't take crap from anybody, taking lots of it at home. And I would watch this. And as I became 9 and 10 and having a sense of reasoning, this wasn't making sense to me. And I'd say, Mom, why are you still doing this? Why are you in this marriage? Why don't you just leave? But my dad controlled all the finances. And even women who worked at that time period weren't making much money to go support a family. And my dad, by the way, was also the divorce administrator of the county and wrote the laws of divorce in the state of Pennsylvania. And she knew that she didn't have a chance. So when I was going into 9th grade, I caught my dad cheating on my mom. And I told my mom, and I said, Mom, now is your chance to be free. He did something wrong. Like, this wasn't just like him being mean. Like, you have a legit reason. And she said, I've known he's been doing that all along. But it was easier to say nothing than to walk away. And I thought to myself, there's no way this can't be. This can't be possible, Mom. You have to go. Be free. Find love. Be loved. She was in the most loveless marriage. And she, at that point, came to a realization that now that I knew, what kind of example was she setting for me? So she confronted my father. Unfortunately, she was right. Leaving was harder than staying. Because what ensued after that moment was so stressful and so hard for my mom that she had a massive stroke a year later. And I watched my mom during this time period before she had actually had the stroke. And I thought to myself, I made a contract, what I call a sacred contract, and I didn't even realize what I was doing at that moment. That I would never, ever allow another person to control my finances or my happiness, ever. And I didn't realize what that was pushing me forward to and through in my life until I was 34 and I was getting an award and I had to write a speech. I've been a motivational speaker since I was 25. I worked for Reebok on the aerobics performance team and did a ton of pioneering in the fitness industry. And as I continue to evolve, obviously what I would be talking about would evolve. At 34, I had one of the greatest shifts and tipping points of my entire life. I had to write a speech, literally write it. I've never written a speech ever. I always speak from my heart, and I never calculate what I'm saying. I have talking points, but I'm speaking from my heart, and I'm reading the room. I had to physically write this speech. And I was really frustrated at the people making me write this speech because I thought, I never write a speech. I've been doing this for a long time. I don't need to write a speech. Writing that speech was one of the most cathartic things ever for me because I had to write about my defining moment. And every time I'd go to write about my defining moment in my life, I would pick something, you know, that like superficial level of like, oh, this was my hardship? Right, that one. That's like the truth. That's like the surface level truth, not the truth. And I kept reflecting, feeling like I'm not telling the truth. This isn't the truth. I mean, these moments were like hiccup moments. They weren't defining moments. But I never wanted to tell my truth because I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed that I grew up in that kind of household because no one around me at that time would ever think that, ever. No one would accept me, I believed, if they knew the kind of environment I was enduring every day in my childhood. Writing this speech, I became truthful with who I was. Let me tell you what happens when you become truthful with who you are. Your entire life gets a heck of a lot easier. And you become the most radiant person, and your ability to help people and connect with people and empower people skyrockets to a whole different level, because the truth is, we all have stuff. The truth is, we all have pain. The truth is, the more we tell the truth, the more people connect with us. Because it doesn't appear that, hey, she must have had life easy. What does she know about pain and suffering? What does she know about empowerment? And a whole heck of a lot, but if I didn't share my story with you right now, I'm sure a lot of people might have been thinking that. And so the truth is, we all connect on the truth. And the more truthful you are, the more empowered you are, and the more you will live a blissful life, I promise. But sometimes it's hard to get to the truth, because guess what? Once I uncovered that truth, I really began a journey of healing. You just don't heal overnight. You keep peeling back layers of the onion and getting more to the root of your belief systems and why you do what you do, and why I was emotionally unavailable in every relationship, intimate relationship I had, until I got divorced. And getting divorced made me realize I was emotionally unavailable. And guess what? When I started dating after that realization, I attracted every emotionally unavailable person possible. The mirror. That's called a mirror. The mirror allows us to see who we are. And I needed to attract every single one of those emotionally unavailable people so that I could see myself in a mirror. So I could see the pain that I might have been projecting.
Thank you so much for joining me this week for this episode of Hot for Your Health. You know, you are a powerful force in your own health, and I'm excited that you took the time this Thursday to learn more from our nation's authorities in health. I hope that you subscribe so that you don't miss one single episode. Join us next week for Hot for Your Health, and for more information, find it at womenshealthconversations.com.